me tell you about a car that's becoming more and more sought after. A car that's gradually assuming the status of a thoroughbred. A real icon. You may always have thought it a bit low rent, a bit of a wide boy. But you should think again. This is a Ford Capri.
Not convinced? Well, allow me to persuade you. We don't get many cars that look like this anymore, you know. Ones with a long bonnet, a rakish profile and a low wide stance. There's something about it that looks just right. And there's something about the way it goes that harks back to something oh so desirable as well.
Straightforward, fun, rear-wheel drive cars are hard to come by these days, but this is one of them. It may only have 157 brake horsepower from its V6 engine, but I absolutely adore it. I love the fact that it's just an uncomplicated piece of machinery. There's no fancy trickery here. Just turn the wheel, give it some welly, and the back end steps gracefully and gradually out. It's the perfect vehicle in which to learn about car control. And if I was 17 and had just passed my driving test, then this is the car I would want to hone my skills in.
The Capri gets you back in touch with the basics of how cars handle. And don't just take my word for it. Throughout his career as an F1 driver, the car that Tiff had sitting outside his home was a Ford Capri. Even Plato ran excitedly the other day to say he'd seen a gaggle of them lining up to take on the Nürburgring, no less. And they're finding their way into some of the world's finest car collections.
Certainly the type of buyer, the type of person looking to buy and collect a Ford Capri now has changed considerably. We've got experience very recently of collectors with substantial collections of very important early post-war Italian Ferrari and Maserati competition cars worth millions and millions of pounds coming to us and saying, I want a good Ford Capri, I want this type, I want that type. These cars are really getting sought after now. Depending on the specification, if you've got one of the finest and one of the rarest Capris, one of the large engine cars with an unusual or rare specification, you could comfortably look for £10,000, maybe even £15,000 today, which is a figure which 5 years ago was unheard of for such a car.
It's the bigger engined models that are being snapped up as classics, but best of all is this, an end-of-the-line Mark III V6 2.8 injection.
Well, this is a very late 2.8 injection Capri, and being a late car, it's a special, which is quite rare. Only the last one's built with a 2.8i special. Now, what that special means is it's got colour-coded wing mirrors, it has colour-coded headlamp grills with those classic late Capri 4 headlamp packages, but most importantly, it's got a 5-speed gearbox, which only the late special cars have. What we loved above all with this particular Capri is it's a one-owner car with 30,000 miles. Now, that means it's full of all its original Ford features from the period. Look at these Recaro seats. They're in fantastic condition, a real feature of one of these cars. And amazingly enough, it's still got the original Ford stereo cassette with a chrome tape button. Also, we've got the fantastic RS-type leather rim, 3-spoke Ford steering wheel. Again, very typical of the period, something you don't often see still on these cars nowadays. Look at this. This is the original service book. Stamp, 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 stamp. MOTs, going back years. There's tax discs in here. There's receipts for tyres in here. There's the original Ford owner's manual for the Capri. Everything is here. It's all complete. It's fantastic.
This is a proper GT coupe with a big engine up front. It's a bit like an Aston, but without the pretensions. And in a world where we buy cars like their designer labels, the Capri is refreshingly honest. And let's face it, there's nothing wrong with a bit of rough now and again.